Yeah.
The good F words.
The good F-bombs.
Well, here we are. You've got us. I'm Jeff. This is KJ52. Jonah, my friend. We're going to be talking about fitness and things we need to know. I'm so intrigued on this. 20 things that you wish you knew at 20. So
Yeah.
take it.
So when I was in 20s, my idea of fitness was fitness pizza in my mouth because I was hungry all the time. But no, seriously, I struggled. It's funny because I wasn't a phenomenal athlete in high school, but I did run track. I played football. And so growing up artistically, I was a very artistic kid. And then I just was like, no one likes the art kids. No one likes the theater kids. I'm going to be a jock, even though I have no basis of being a jock. So anyway, I just got really into fitness and like exercise and things like that in my high school years, just because I was on a football team or whatever.
Yeah.
Hit my 20s, had no particular reason to do anything like that anymore, and but also noticed that in my 20s I had more energy, I had more strength, I had more drive. I could go for all night long, no sleep. I had just a momentum about my 20s.
Days.
Yes, and so my early part of my 20s, no running, no hitting the gym, eat literally whatever I wanted to. I developed I started working at this church where I literally just was eating fast food all the time. Because in ministry I found that like you just don't have the time.
Yeah, I would drink 3 or 4 big gulps a day. I had a lady that would go over to the 7-Eleven, fill up my super big gulps.
And it becomes almost out of necessity because you have this new 20 million other things to do as a young adult. That your struggle is that you don't have time for other stuff, and your life isn't it's regimented, but not regimented the way it was in high school.
Yeah.
So all that to be said, I started picking up just some terrible habits, but it wasn't affecting me. I wasn't gaining weight. I was always a skinny, tall guy that just had a high metabolism, and none of this was affecting me. It was not affecting me health-wise. I was like, well, fine, I can do whatever I want. I had this sort of Superman complex. I could eat whatever I want, sleep however I want, not exercise, and just go, which worked till about 25, late 20s, maybe 27, and all of a sudden I started to notice I'm like habitually getting sick. I'm starting to notice that, the gut's getting there. I'm starting to notice that some of I'll never forget when I got my first record deal and did my first show as a signed artist, and I was out of breath the whole show. And so my thought process was, I gotta do 45 minutes of shows, so I'm gonna start running for 45 minutes, thinking for some reason the two equal each other. It made no sense in my head. So I started running, and all of a sudden I'm realizing I'm not losing the weight, and I'm killing myself.
Yeah.
So my attitude has always been, like, the more effort you put in, the more you get out. Not knowing that it doesn't work like that when it comes to your own physical body. And I didn't look at my body as a temple of God, I looked at it as a garbage dump. But the reality is if I looked at this church as the temple of God,
right,
I wouldn't come in here and just dump trash in it.
Correct.
I wouldn't throw things on the wall. I would treat it with respect. I would treat it with the holiness that it deserves. We all know it's still just a building.
Right.
But the point being, I always realized that as a Christian thrown into this church bubble thing, that everything started revolving around food. You know what I mean? Like, as a non-believer, it was partying, man. It was like drink till you puke, try to get as much weed as you could. Like, it was fleshly, like, satiation.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, so what do Christians do for
They
fun?
replace it with food.
They're like, we do board games and we order pizza. And I like
every night we order
seriously,
pizza.
like I was thrust in. I didn't even know what a youth group was when someone invited me to it. I thought it was like peer counseling. Like, you're gonna help me get like a job, like at a Job Corps. I was so ignorant to church culture. But I started realizing like everything we do at church culture is like, okay, we'll go out to eat after church. And then it was like, go to youth group. Oh, and then we go to McDonald's. And then it was like, we're gonna have a lock-in. We need kids there. We're gonna have pizza. And then it was like, you do kids church? Yeah, we're gonna stuff them full of candy.
They will come.
Right, and so I'm like, I think Christians just love to eat. Like, is this like a thing about being a Christian? You're supposed to eat? And even if you thought about it, like from the early church, they had their love feasts, and there was a communal thing about eating. But everything that we were eating was like the worst possible food possible.
Right.
So I now hit my early 30s. I'm full-time on the road, and I'm habitually sick. My skin is getting bad. I'm getting like all kinds of weird things happening with my skin. I'm noticing that, I hit the highest weight I ever hit in ministry. I was up to pushing 220 pounds, which for me is like, a good 20, 30 pounds over where I should be.
Right.
And I look, the difference is that I look back on those pictures, they're all over the internet. They're on my album, they're on people's Facebook pages. Like, I'm like, that guy with the double chin,
That was me.
that was me. And no one told me in my 20s how to establish how to eat properly, what it meant to the way that we just consume fast food and the junk that we take in. And I think we all kind of know this.
Yeah.
But what I realized was like, I wish I would have known how to take care of my body.
So, I mean, you and I know, because we've talked about things, that even your physical body, when you're not feeling good, it affects you emotionally, it affects you spiritually, it does affect your work. You can't do the things that you want to do. What took place? Was it something that you just saw pictures and you just thought, I don't like the way I look, or I don't like the way I felt? When did it click that you said, I got to change something?
It was a gradual process, but a lot of it, yes. I realized that as I was reaching my mid-30s and going into my late 30s, that if I didn't change some things, I wasn't going to be able to continue. I mean, hip-hop is a young man's game.
Mm-hmm.
I realized like I was not going to be able to survive. And it was a gradual thing. A big thing was my kids, knowing that, my son was diagnosed with ADHD. I didn't want to put him on drugs.
Right.
And I realized like I could actually affect his behavior by how his food,
Correct.
what he ate.
Yep. Give me a Mountain Dew, I am a different person.
This is a guy who wrote a song called Give Me That Mountain Dew. Like, here's a song I wrote. I wrote a song called Coke Fried Cheeseburger. These are the two worst songs I've ever written in my entire career, and yet isn't it ironic that they're the two biggest songs that I had in the church world?
Wow.
They have nothing to do with Jesus. They have to do with poor eating habits and caffeinating your body with sugar. And I thought, isn't that reflective?
Well, it's reflective. What did you say? It's reflective even of leadership. You were telling me that the second heaviest profession in the world are lead pastors. So we as leaders sometimes don't do the things that we need to do. But anyway.
No, that's truth. And even if it is pastors or not, I mean, we sit at our desks all day.
Yeah.
We are on our phones constantly. We are in a constant state of inactivity, and it's not the way we were created to be.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot more in depth of how to take care of your body, and a lot of us don't know. And a lot of us, some of us are just conditioned to be heavier.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah.
the natural makeup,
right.
And that's another thing.
I'm big boned.
I had to accept that too about myself. I always thought that I could be the big ripped dude,
yeah.
And I realized that the natural makeup of my body did not lend itself to that. So when I came to a point of like, as a man, body acceptance, I know it sounds weird to say as a male, I had to come to a point of body acceptance, like the image that I'm
not going to be The Rock.
I won't be that guy.
Dwayne Johnson is just out of my league.
Exactly. And I realized like, I don't have to be what they're selling me to be. I can be the very best that I am.
Yeah.
Because now, proper eating, whether that's organic eating, whether that's the way I exercise, whether that's the way I take naps, like literally I take naps like a little child. I'm a napper. I'm a happy napper. I'm not even embarrassed to say that.
No.
But the point is,
Lunchtime.
it's on. I just realized that we are sold so many lies, food-wise, nutrition-wise,
mm-hmm.
exercise-wise, that we are sold things that we can never achieve. All we really can be is the very best that we are, and that there's no one church per se. There's no like one type of church building.
No one type of
There's
body.
no one type of body.
Yeah.
And for those that struggle with weight or health or whatever, you can
yeah.
you can be that.
And it's not a judgment thing. It's not a critical thing. It's just I think we're saying it needs to be part of your thought process. It's not something we think of as spiritual, but it does affect that world.
Yes.
And so we need to think about what are we putting in our bodies? Are we taking some time to exercise and not kill yourself,
right.
but get into a place where you just feel better about yourself, you feel better in life.
The problem is if I would have, mainly I wish I knew at 20s the disciplines that I now know older, because I would have had a head start.
Right.
And
You
so-
would have never gotten to that point, and it would have been, it's easier to maintain than to get to that point and have to back it up
Right.
and get back to where you were.
The thing that we're not told is that you will never be as fast, as strong, or
No.
as healthy as you are in your 20s.
Never.
That's your literal peak
28
physically.
to 33, your metabolism totally changes. You start not healing as quickly. We know, we're living it, right? Now we're in the 40s. So.
Yeah, anyway. But the point is, I realized that man, But then again, you're not defined by your age chronologically. You can, the body is an amazing thing that God has created, and that it will literally, what I learned is that it will do equilibrium. The stress that you put on it is the stress that it will give back. You lift heavy, you get bigger. You train for cardio, you get, whatever. The point is, you get out what you put in.
Very good. Well, that's something we wish we would have known when we were 20, to just set healthy disciplines, healthy habits in our physical lives, in fitness. So why don't you go out, break out into your groups and chat about this. Again, no judgment, no shaming, no, it's just, let's have conversations. Let's talk, what can we do in our own lives to be better as people. So we love you guys. See you next time.